In St. Louis, the hype is real. The emotion is real. And the Battlehawks, they're really, really good. Welcome to the XFL Pregame. Let's go.
It's time for victory. We making history. We the new big thing, ain't no mystery. For the love of football.
You better believe we're excited today. Welcome to day 2, week 4 of the XFL. This is the XFL Pregame Show. I'm the coach. This is Alyse, and we have been looking forward to this matchup today all season. Today in Frisco, Texas, it's on.
It's on. In the first game, rivals Houston Roughnecks and Dallas Renegades will face off at 4 p.m. Eastern on FS1. This matchup, the Texas Throwdown. In the late game, the DC Defenders and the Tampa Bay Vipers will look to rebound after their respective losses in Week 3. This game is 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. But, Coach, before we look forward, we have to look back. And you and I were both on the sidelines at a very chilly MetLife Stadium yesterday.
It was snowing at one point on Saturday. New quarterback, Luis Perez, in for Matthew McGloin, now with a thorax injury. And he was throwing dimes. This one, Mikel McKay. We were tied at 14 late in the game. It came down to the field goal kickers. And look at the wind. The wind was blowing, but that was good. Matthew McCrane and New York able to get back on the winning track, which was good to see.
That's right. Well, Coach, last week the Guardians scored only 3 points. How did they flip the script this week?
Well, here's the bottom line. You had Luis Perez, who came in for Matt McGloin at quarterback. He was a good, positive change. But also you had a reinvigorated defense. You had a head coach who told us that his team was ready to play, that maybe the week before that they weren't. When you've got a whole team effort yesterday, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't nice, but they got the win. And in a 10-game season, every win matters.
And that was in New York, but in St. Louis, it was all about the energy.
This is the franchise that everybody else should be looking at and say, that's who we need to be like. St. Louis, the Battlehawks, and they were hosting the Seattle Dragons. It all begins and ends with this guy, quarterback Jordan Teamu. His family flew all the way from Hawaii for the game, throwing dimes. DeMornay Pearson L, 5 catches, 71 yards. Then Keith Ford, in for the score. 17-3 St. Louis at the half. But P.J. Daniels comes in for Seattle, and he was a spark. That to Evan Rodriguez. It was a 7-point game. Late. Will Hill, great interception. That would seal the win, and St. Louis continues to roll. They win at home, and look at the crowd. Look at the emotion. Look at the just the raw joy of having football back in St. Louis.
So how does St. Louis emerge as the top team in the East?
Well, with all due respect to Houston and P.J. Walker and Cam Phillips, right now, if I was voting for the MVP, it would be P.J. Walker 1, Jordan Teamu 2. He also ran for, I wrote it down, 63 yards on Saturday. He's a dual-threat quarterback. Here's a guy that has great charisma. He's a great leader, and I think he's showing the people of St. Louis that he's bought in as their quarterback, and they have certainly bought in with him. Now, the big question is, moving forward, can he continue to play this well? Will he have enough guys help him? Right now, Jordan Teamu is everything for St. Louis.
And that's what you and I were talking about yesterday, the importance of quarterbacks in this league.
They're everything. Look at P.J. Walker. Look at Landry Jones. They're going to face off today. 2 of the best teams. Look at Josh Johnson. Didn't play well yesterday, former NFL quarterback. You've got to have a really good leader at quarterback for you in the XFL. If you don't, you're going to be like Tampa, 0-3. They've had 3 quarterbacks play instead of just 1. You've got to figure it out. You really do.
Now, let's take a look at the best sounds of Saturday.
So when you get the Romer London call and you're away from the passing strength, it should have been Ray.
Yeah, exactly. Carl,
I was going to him. Yeah, I was going to him.
All right, just look for it.
Yeah, for sure going to you.
Yeah.
You want it? I'm going to give it to you right now.
I appreciate this, y'all. Y'all showed me that y'all really care, man.
Yes, sir.
And I love y'all for that.
Yes.
Every win is hard.
Yes, sir.
Every win is hard. Appreciate it, enjoy it, know how much better we can play and feel good for each other, because I'll tell you what, you deserved it.
Here we go, baby. Family on me. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Coming up today, we have the Texas Throwdown. 2 teams with great quarterbacks, 2 teams that both believe they are the alphas. How do they stack up? Let's take a look.
All right, damn important game today, right? Division game, right? All day long. Great focus, great intensity.
Hey, let's come out here and fly around, play for each other, man. Let's get this done today. 1 on 3, 1, 2, 3.
This game gonna be great. You know, it's just gonna be a great rivalry, a great opportunity just to go out there and show them Dallas folk how Houston people do.
Battle of Texas, you know, everybody want to be the best team in Texas. So we get a chance to go out there and play these guys, and you know it's all about bragging rights.
It's going to be a rowdy battle in Texas today. Houston scores the most points per game. The Renegades allow the least amount of points per game. Coach, what should fans expect in today's Texas Throwdown?
Alyse, they should expect exactly what the numbers say they should expect. Houston has been terrific. You've got P.J. Walker and Ken Phillips. The last 2 weeks, they've combined for 6 total touchdowns. That man right there, right now, he would be the MVP of the XFL. Who's the second MVP? It would be his wide receiver, number 14, Cam Phillips. They've been terrific. Now, don't sleep on Dallas. Their defense has been awesome, and you also throw in Landry Jones, their quarterback, former Steelers quarterback. He's been terrific.
And now the other game taking place today, the 2-1 DC Defenders versus the winless Tampa Bay Vipers. Cardell Jones will look to bounce back after throwing 4 interceptions against the Wildcats during the Defenders' 39-9 loss. Do you think the interceptions were just an off day for Jones?
Everybody has an off day. This was a really, really bad day, though, throwing it into coverage. He's got to be better if DC wants to get back on the winning page.
There's no doubt that Cardell Jones will need to play well if DC wants to get back on the winning track. Clearly, this is a big, pivotal game for both.
On the shoulders of giants, they stand tall, unconquerable, unyielding, marching ever forward.
In the shadows, they wait. Demons, born in darkness.
The DC Defenders.
The Tampa Bay Vipers, ready to strike.
As the countdown to football continues, it's time to place those bets. In fact, I placed my first bet on Saturday. Thank you, Seattle Dragons.
Yes, you did. I'm very proud of you. 11.5 points was a lot to give. On that note, let's bring in our main man, Action Network's betting analyst, Chris Raybon, who joins us again today. Chris, let's start with the early game, our featured game, Houston, Dallas, Texas Throwdown. What do you got?
I'm expecting a lot of points, Coach. I'm rolling with the over 50.5. Phillip Walker and the Roughnecks offense, 33 points per game, and their games averaging a combined 55.7 points, both first in the XFL. In the weight game, I am rolling with the DC Defenders to cover the short spread. Listen, we've already seen 3 quarterbacks from Tampa Bay, and they haven't got within 7. Their point differential of minus 11.7, the worst in the league.
Chris, you really get the feeling that Vegas is kind of over-exaggerating what DC did a week ago. I like that pick in the late game and then the early game, Alyse. Having the over, P.J. Walker and Cam Phillips, they've been terrific, scoring a lot of points today. I agree with both of those picks.
So you'll place those bets after the show, Coach?
100%.
And fans, we want you to place those bets too. But now it's time to hear what you had to say on social media. At the game at MetLife Stadium, the Wildcats versus Guardians, it was a fun day.
I couldn't believe how many fans were screaming your name, Alyse. We watch you all the time. You're our favorite. It was really amazing to see in person.
And last week, we saw a front flip into the end zone, and this fan thinks a moonwalk would be fun, too.
There are so many different things that are going on right now. Nothing is normal, and I think people are enjoying being uncomfortable.
This fan is loving the Battlehawks energy.
Fan bases better look at St. Louis and say that's the standard, that's who we need to be like. They're great in St. Louis.
Caw, that's right. We love to hear your social chatter. Join in on the conversation during the games and during the week using the hashtag XFL Pregame and hashtag For the Love of Football, and some of it may even end up on our show.
Yeah, and don't forget, during the week, you can have the plays of the week, the star of the week, the sounds of the week. XFL 7 days strong. That's going to do it for us. Roughnecks, Renegades, 4 p.m. Eastern on FS1. And then the Defenders and the Vipers, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. You got your marching orders. She's Alyse. I'm the coach. Enjoy the games. We'll see you next week.